Hello, Football Diehards. Saturday, Week 15, Daily Optimizer lineup with Jen Ryan. Jen, how you doing today?
I'm good, Amo. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. Coffee, a little snow, and having some fun. I hear you got some snow also.
Yeah, snow in New Mexico and New Jersey. I mean, New Jersey, I expected, but New Mexico, I figured you guys were kind of like a tropical island with no beach, almost.
We get all sorts of. We actually get four seasons, and it's fun to have the four seasons. And the nice
Yeah,
thing about snow here is typically it goes away quickly. There's really not much snow. It doesn't even stick on the roads, so it's kind of nice. So here we go. Let me run over to the daily page. We have some articles up here and whatnot. You want to look at the salaries and the value factor first, real
yeah,
quick? Or
definitely.
we're gonna do FanDuel, I guess. So let's move this up a little bit. It looks like we have a handful of interesting running backs at the top. What do you see there?
Definitely.
What
I
looks
oh sorry, just trying to pull up your Skype
yeah?
page so I
What
can see
looks
what you're
good
looking
to
at.
you?
Well,
Oh, I can
I'll
share
tell.
a screen. Let me share a screen here. If
Sure.
does that help you? Yeah, I'm
It's
supposed to
it's
do
it's
things
a
like this. Let me yes. So it's fun to do this on the fly. Let's see. Conversation. Well, it's supposed to be here somewhere. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. Anyway, continue to talk while I try and do something.
sure.
Oh, here it
So
is. Here it is. There it is.
so I feel like someone I have a feeling that you're going to have guys like David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell really high owned this week. So I was actually looking to avoid them a little bit, fade them, if you will. And two running backs that are really sticking out for me are Ezekiel Elliott and LaShawn McCoy. And just plugging them into the optimizer, I locked them in, and
Okay.
as Antonio Brown as well. And the results are really good. I love the kind of the lineups
Well,
that spit back out.
let's go try one here. So we pulled up the optimizer, and it looks like we're going to do. Where's Maine on here? All
The
right,
main slate ad somewhere in
there's
the
Maine.
middle.
I see, and of course there we've got a game today on Saturday, which I'm assuming it's going to ignore. All right, so let's go down here and running backs. We'll go to running backs. You wanted to lock in. Was it Elliott?
Locked in Elliott and LaShawn McCoy.
All right, McCoy. There you are. All right, we're going to lock those two in, and we're just going to calculate. Hey, somebody popped in on my LinkedIn.
Uh-oh.
Did you use LinkedIn at all?
I have a LinkedIn, but I don't use it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, one of the many things that we try and learn. Well, there we are. 20 lineups with Ezekiel Elliott and McCoy. Look what we found. Watkins. Are
Yep,
these
he's in there.
What do you think about those players? Inman is starting to show up.
Yeah, and the quarterback, when I ran it, the quarterback that kept kind of showing up that I thought was great is Matt Ryan, and it's
Yep.
showing up for you too. And I mean, he's him and Aaron Rodgers, they're the top priced, excuse me, quarterbacks on FanDuel this week. They're both $8,500.
Wow.
But Ryan has our highest value factor, 2.7, and he's our number one ranked quarterback based off the projections.
Yeah.
And even if you look at these the results that spit out, what you could go ahead and do is you can take a guy like Inman if you want. You could keep that in as more of like a core cash lineup. But if you want to go ahead and flip this and work off a GPP lineup for this a little bit, you could
Yes.
throw in like an Aldrick Robinson. Somebody in Atlanta is going to have to catch the ball, and Sanu will be the popular item, and Taylor Gabriel. But you could throw in a guy like Robinson.
Let's go take a look at that. There he is.
Just a
Okay.
matchup against San Francisco is so good.
Yes, that is nice. Let me go find the button down here. Let's see what comes up with Aldrich in. Now, there's the first lineup. We got Hilton popped up because of that.
Hilton's someone I get why he's in there with his, but he's probably someone I'm going to avoid.
By the way, we forgot to download. I apologize. We missed that.
That's
first one.
okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. So let's avoid him, Hilton. What is it? We X him here,
Exactly.
and we're going
And
to
then,
recalculate.
yep.
What do we got?
and then you get something a little different.
Des
Of
Bryant,
course,
you're going to love him or you're going to hate him every week.
every week.
He was tough the last week.
Yeah, yeah. But you get when you kind of have these locked top running backs, sort of. Well, not top. Actually, they're probably outside of the top in terms of
This
David
week's
Johnson and
rankings.
Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, but I mean, LaShawn McCoy against Cleveland, he's my top running back this week. But yeah, you kind of have the freedom to wiggle around and throw some other players in there. And I ran it too with when I ran
Way
it with
down there.
Antonio Brown locked in too.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
Let's try that.
and then
Let me load this down, and we're going to try that.
now I feel like unfortunately this week for the first, we kind of really have a lot of bad weather going on around the country. So I'm kind of trying to look at that too. I try not to pay attention to weather too much.
Mm-hmm.
But looks like in the Pitt and Cincy game, it's going to be cold. It's not going to be snowing, but it's going to be kind of cold.
So I think cold has an effect on the receivers, personally.
I mean, it has an effect on me. I can't imagine it doesn't have an effect on anyone.
All right, here's Brown. This is what we left with Brown. We end up with Crabtree, Cameron Brate, or however you pronounce it.
Yep.
And here we have Delaney Walker, and Inman shows up again, Crabtree and Brate.
Yeah, and these are some really solid lineups.
Yep. Okay, let me
And you
hit
have
the
some top
download.
guys in there.
Let's hit the download here. Okay. What else would you like to try with this lineup? You want to
You know,
pull? Go ahead.
I was curious. I haven't done this much, so it's something I want to try sort of at the same time as you try it. And that's maybe stacking, quarterbacks, receivers, seeing what we have going on. So I'm kind of
Check
wondering.
this out just to do. Go ahead.
I want to. Yeah, I'm going to clear
just-
all my filters.
All right, we're going to go back here. We're clearing filters. Is there a way to clear without having to bounce around with this tool?
I just went back to the main page and I just cleared out. I went back to the actual beginning of the optimizer because I had names
just
in the player
restarted.
search.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Okay, so now I have cleared, allegedly, if I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Who would you like to pair up?
I would like to see what comes out if we do. Is the Green Bay game on this slate?
That is a good question.
Green Bay Sunday at 1, yeah, against Chicago.
Beautiful.
So I'm curious, Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers, what that would kind of create.
So let's go look at Rodgers. What a great game he had in the snow last week in Week 14.
Oh yeah, and he's of course heating up at the right time.
Okay, I don't see him in the list. Don't tell me
I
I did
don't-
something wrong.
I don't either.
How dare it?
I see it's their Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm gonna try to refresh.
Yeah, there it is. Did I do something wrong? It says Maine.
These are computers for you.
Yes.
They're my nemesis.
He's not there. Well, maybe we can. Let me re-hit this and see what happens. I don't even know what it starts with. Yeah, I don't see him there.
I don't either. I see this game in here. Oh, maybe it's just a little glitch.
Okay, well, let's try something else. What other quarterback that you see would you like to pair with somebody?
We could go ahead. Let's see. I know a lot of people are going to be on Tyrod Taylor. I'm just not really feeling him. I'm not. I think it's going to be a running game, so I'm kind of staying away from that. I wonder if we try Eli and Odell.
All right, let's hope Eli's in here.
Oh, I see Eli.
Yeah, at least we have him. I don't know why it did that. Okay, Eli. Then we're going to go run up to wide receivers and pick Odell, and we're going to click a button and see what happens.
And look at that. You get LeGarrette Blount. Even the first one that I ran. Let's see if yours is the same.
We have Murray. We have Matthews for Philadelphia on the first lineup.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dixon, who's another interesting guy. It shows him
Totally.
as out. It shows him out. That's a little confusing.
It is confusing.
I'll go back. I don't recall him being out, so let's ignore that for the moment. And you said you had Blunt in yours?
Yeah, the first one I ran
Oops,
spit
let
out.
me don't make people
Yeah, it
dizzy.
spit out Blunt.
Okay.
And Tyler Eifert is in this lineup, and I wrote in the Targets article this week, Eifert's just been awesome anytime
Yeah.
he's been on the field. And he's really, he's become like the wide receiver one
Yeah, he had a
in
great
Cincinnati.
great week last week. Let's do that. Let's go in and let me go back real quick and then we'll lock Eifert just to see what it does here. And we're going to lock him and recalculate and see what crazy things show up. Oops, what did I just do? I just moved the wrong thing down.
Even that first lineup, I mean, for people who are interested in kind of, stacking players, which is much more common, I think, in a GPP than in a cash game, look what you get. I mean, that's a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, Murray, Latavius Murray has a good opportunity this week, and he's pretty high up in our power rankings.
Yeah, nice matchup, too.
We did get stuck with Hilton there. If we want to move that just to see what happens.
I'm very nervous about him. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like I'll have him in at least one or two, just, because
Yeah, let's
his
do this.
PPR potential, but
Let's download this one for the article later. And I apologize to everybody last week. We had a great time doing the optimizer and then got off the phone, and within 5 minutes my computer completely crashed, and luckily it's working now. Had to take it in and get it fixed. So we're going to X out Hilton and rerun this. Of course, my great sleeper last week was Colin Kaepernick, and that it didn't really turn out. They ended up running way too much. So he had a below average game.
yeah.
Okay, here we are, and
Look at that. We get Antonio Brown. I mean, that's pretty incredible to have a lineup with Dez, Beckham, and Brown, and Eifert.
Yeah, and I like Dixon. I'm not so sure if I like Matthews. I haven't really looked at it. It's one of those emotional things. He's really. I picked him in a couple of leagues this year, and it hasn't worked out. So.
Yeah, and
I'm mad at him.
The thing with him, there's so many players who are completely not friends with me anymore. But I mean, the thing with Matthews, if he doesn't score, he's completely useless. So you have to hope that he scores a touchdown.
Yeah. Now let's see. This one here we have Howard.
Now
That's not bad. That's an interesting lineup. Lineup 2.
That's
Let's
a
go
great looking lineup.
3. Oh, here's your Blount showed up.
Yep.
And we'll go to lineup 4 real quick. And here's Blount again. Got Crabtree a handful of times.
Sure.
Des Bryant keeps showing up, much to my dismay. Here's an Evans. Well, that's going to be a fun game. Tampa Bay at Dallas, huh?
Sure, and that's always fun too sometimes. I mean, if these teams are actually kind of keeping the score pretty low on both sides, but if it pops or something and it becomes a high scoring game, it's kind of fun to play the top receiver on both sides.
Yep. Interesting. Let me glance down at my cheat sheet. What about this Kenneth Farrell for San Diego, assuming Gordon doesn't play this week?
Sure, and I think it looks like they might as well just declare him out. I don't think he's playing. Yep. And again, he's another one. He could be a great GPP. I'm not so sure he's the cash running back for me. Could be great in a GPP though.
Let's just for the heck of it, let's put him in on one of these just to see what happens.
Totally. That's the whole point of this. It's so much, you just kind of
tinkering away.
Names in and out and see what you get.
All right, there we are. Who did he allow us to get? We have Blount in this one. We keep getting Hilton. This thing loves Hilton.
It does. I mean, it's his price. His price is
7,300.
Yeah, it's just that matchup. Xavier Rhodes is he's just. I feel like every year it rotates out who the shutdown corner is, and it's him this year. I mean, he's just been so good.
Interesting. Let's see. What do we have here? Is there one of these without? Here's one without Hilton, and it's matching up Dixon and Farrow.
Sure. Yeah, Dixon. I mean, I actually talked about this with Bob and Mike on Sirius. The thing with Dixon, there was a question: is he an official RB2, or is he more of a flex play? And the thing is, he doesn't get a ton of carries, but last week he had 8 catches on 11 targets. So if they're going to use him like that in this game, then you could get, you're going to get a ton of production out of him. Yeah. But if they don't use him in the passing game against Baltimore, against Philly, he's going to have a rough, he could have a rough go of it. So he's kind of boom or bust for me this week.
Well, that's a good point. A lot of these running backs, if they end up catching that many balls, or even 3 or 4, I mean, it just adds. If you get 4 catches for 30 yards, that's, 7 in a PPR and whatever it is, 5.5 a PPR. So
Yeah, half
little,
on FanDuel.
yeah, a little frosting on the cake. Well, good. Let's see. We got here's one with. Oops, I just went by it. Here it is. You got Antonio Brown, and of course Hilton. It loves Hilton here.
Loves Hilton.
Not bad lineups. Not bad
No,
lineups.
not at all.
Let's see what else. Oh, let me do something absolutely nuts. One of our articles on the website, Bob Harris, of course, our wonderful expert in many ways, including daily. He's been really doing well in daily the last 2 years. Let me do something real quick. He has a guy on his article. He has Trevor.
Trevor
Simon.
Simeon.
Yeah, Simeon. And
It could be fun to almost run.
let me see if I can find him on here. Here he is, down near the bottom. Let me just lock him just for the heck of. Oh, it's so mad it won't even let me lock it.
Oh, you have Eli locked. That's why.
Oh, well, let's get rid of Eli here. We don't like him anyway. Just kidding. Just kidding. It was a joke. All right. Here we go. Let's see what this thing does for us. Okay.
We still have our other players locked too.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, there's the first one. Let me download it just so I can put it on the for the article. Who do we want to get rid of? You want to get rid of Pharaoh and see what it'll do for us, or somebody else you want to unlock?
Yeah, we should check it out.
Okay, we're going to unlock. Now, what did that just do? I didn't mean to do that. I want to do that, right? And recalculate. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Latavius Murray. You got Blount. Wow, that's an interesting pair.
Yeah.
We've got our lovely. Let's eliminate him and recalculate.
Blunt is he's a super popular option this week too. I keep seeing his name pop up all over the internet, so I think people are all over him.
Now that we eliminated Hilton, we end up with the lineup number one is Latavius Murray and Dixon and Antonio Brown and Des Bryant.
Yeah, Dixon. That's another name. He just keeps popping up.
Let's see what do we got here. Not much has changed here. So there's a GPP with a crazy player like Trevor Simeon. What do you think about Marquez Lee, that huge game he had last week for Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think you have to really consider him. He's getting the targets, he's getting the looks, and unfortunately, Allen Robinson is just not getting it done.
Now, could you tell whether they were just double teaming Robinson and they were just going to Lee, or is Lee actually becoming a valuable player?
I didn't see much of that game, to be honest with you. But what I am going to do right now is go and look at our target stats over the last 3 weeks and see what Lee has been up to.
Yeah, now let me put Lee in here. While you're clicking that, I'm going to go run this if I can get my cursor to go down there.
Yep. So over the last 3 weeks, he has 22% of the team targets. I mean, that's a
large number.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Lee. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I ran the optimizer myself. The all Bob Harris lineup. I took his 3 from his 3 and out, plugged him in,
okay.
Simeon, Dixon, and Marquise Lee, and the Bob Harris 3 and out lineup gets some pretty interesting results. I really like them.
Oh, interesting. And here we just use the Simeon and we use the Marquise, and you're getting Antonio Brown still. You're still getting Beckham. Of course, This is with Simeon. Of course, this is more of a GPP. That's interesting. Did I download this? Let me make sure. I probably got 2 copies of it. That is interesting.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, you get one of the best kickers in football. I mean, I don't pay much attention to kickers, but you probably can't go wrong with Justin Tucker.
Yes, I have him in a couple leagues, and he's just fun to watch. He didn't save me. It made me feel good last Monday night when he kicked that 50-yard field goal at halftime because they blocked that other one. I was in a tight spot in the league. And I got getting 5 points for that made me happy.
Oh yeah,
he's just a fantastic kicker, and they do give him opportunities.
Yeah, he's a fun person too. Apparently, he runs around the locker room singing opera. So, if that's your kind of thing,
nothing like a locker room to make things interesting.
Yeah.
Jeez, let's see what else we got here.
I did see we're getting a lot of Buffalo defense, and that's. Nothing wrong with picking on Cleveland.
Yep. All right, I think I stored that. I'm going to hit it one more time. I can tell if I have a duplicate lineup. Let me do something nuts since you were talking about what you wouldn't do. So let's do things that we wouldn't do.
Sure, we can exclude.
Let's pair So we've got Trevor. Let's go put your buddy Tyrod Taylor in here.
There we go.
For the heck of it. I know it's something you said most likely will be done a lot. Let's get rid of Odell Beckham as a force. Where is Sammy Watkins?
There he is. Let's see it.
Okay. Well, let's leave Lee in too, just for the heck of it. And let's see what we get for our number one lineup. Here's our number one lineup. Who do we get? Oh, we get Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and
Coming
look at
off
that.
an incredible game last week in the snow.
Le'Veon Latavius. I mean, those are pretty solid running backs to throw out there in a tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good. What's on this one here? We got David Johnson back and Howard on this one. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna write Howard's name down because he's someone I didn't see spit out a lot in the
he's
lineups I
popping out.
ran.
We must have him a little lower in our rankings. Not lower.
I'm gonna lock him.
lower.
I'm gonna lock him in a few, but
Okay, good.
but I'm definitely gonna throw out. I think in a couple cheaper tournaments the Bob Harris inspired Simeon Lee Dixon.
Yeah, you may have to give him a cut if you win.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
Definitely, that's all in the plans.
Yes, we've got a lot of them. Also, Justin, he's got some interesting in his digging in the crates
Yes, sir.
that are interesting. There's a lot of interesting players this week to take a serious look at in these lineups.
I feel like every week it's you just can't make enough lineups sometimes. It's just you want to get them all in. And something else I find myself doing too before I kind of make any final decisions with these stuff, I always check out Gary's shadow report.
Yes.
I feel like just this season, kind of wide receiver cornerback matchups are becoming so much more written about kind of across the space, and Gary he's got one of the best ones, so
Yeah,
I'm always checking his out.
Definitely important to understand the internal matchups going on, and that is a very good one too. And of course, it was interesting too, just to throw another little tidbit on. Let me go to our fantasy points as an example. As in another league I'm in, I have the Rudolph, the tight end Rudolph, and also the guy for Tennessee,
Delaney
Walker. I have both of them in a league, and I'm in the semifinals. And I'm sitting here looking at this, and let's see, I just did tight end fantasy points worst give-ups, and I can't remember who they play this week, but I know one plays Denver, and I think I messed up. But anyway, Denver was like really tough against tight ends. That's what I was trying to find out. I thought it was even worse than that. Did I pick the wrong thing to sort by?
I'm checking it now. Let's see.
Yeah, I must have. I guess it's not as. They're 20th, which means they're like 12th.
Yeah, and they've only given up 2 touchdowns to tight ends. That's
Rudolph,
tough.
I forget who Rudolph was playing, but anyway, it was a better lineup. So I think I'm going to go with Rudolph in that league, even though Delaney
he's got the Colts.
Yeah, and the Colts are pretty bad in here somewhere. So those are another interesting thing to look at as you try to figure things out, because Delaney got me to the playoffs, but I'm probably going to go with Rudolph, although I still have till early Sunday morning to change my mind.
Oh, yeah, you got plenty of time. And who knows? Maybe some of these forecasts change. I know a lot of people, I just keep seeing a lot of stuff everywhere. People are super concerned about the weather this week. So who knows? Maybe some of that will change. I'm actually reading something right now that they're expecting the game time temperature in Chicago to be -3 degrees with a wind chill value approaching -25 degrees.
Hello.
Now we know this, though. It doesn't bother Aaron Rodgers, but
Yeah.
that's got me thinking about Jordan
Howard.
Yeah, even more. I mean, when it's freezing out, that poor quarterback Barkley, he's just gonna be like, "Here, you take it," and just hand it to him the whole time. I hope.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Any other ideas you got? We're already hit over 20 minutes. We have too much fun on this video show.
I know. We could. We're like 2 old ladies just rambling away.
Yes, we're going to have some fun. This is a good time of the year because we're running out of leagues, and of course we have the playoffs that we'll enjoy too.
Definitely.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think, like I said, I'm super high on putting together LaShawn McCoy and Ezekiel Elliott wherever I can. I think it allows you to fit in a guy like Antonio Brown if you want to play him. I love the idea of pairing Eli and Odell, and I am now very much on the Bob Harris inspired lineup generator of the three: Simeon, Marquise Lee, and Kenneth Dixon.
Beautiful. Excellent. Well, let's hope that my computer continues to work on this Saturday morning and I get this video up in the next few minutes. Lovely talking to you. I'm glad your cold is doing better, and good luck tomorrow in your daily leagues.
Yes, thank you. You too, Emil.
Will do. I hope I get some in this week, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I will. Talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. See you next week.
Beautiful.